Hello, folks. It is Two Sheds Gabby, and I am back from running a few errands today. This is a day I don't normally get out and do any banking, but since I had a few things I needed to do, I returned some coins. And while I was at these banks, I asked if they had coins. One bank that I take half dollars to pretty regularly almost never ever buy anything at this particular branch. I asked them if they happen to have a box of nickels and a box of pennies. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And so they brought me a box each, customer rolled. I was not expecting that from them. I don't know what to expect. You guys have heard me talking. I haven't had over a period of time not had the best luck with customer roll. Right there sits a box of nickels that are just all returns from somebody with nothing that I'm looking for in them. But I do also think that this particular bank has lots of retail customer accounts. So it could just simply be that somebody at maybe a smaller retail place has rolled up a bunch of coins and turned them in. But it could just as easily be somebody just cashing in something they searched too. I just don't have a clue. But so I had the nickels and the pennies. Then I went to another bank to make a little deposit from a check that I had and asked if they had pennies and nickels, and they did. And it was the bank rolled, bank sealed boxes. I think what I'll do is probably in a little while I'll start a penny search, and I'll just I'll do each box of pennies, the customer rolled and the bank rolled. In a few days, I'll do the same with the nickels. But if these are any good, we'll compare them. And if they're not, then I'll just finish up with this box and we'll see what we end up with. But it'd be fun if there was, some copper in there and maybe even some Wheaties. And there's always the chance that somebody rolled up all of their wheat pennies. I don't expect that, but crazier things have happened, right? And so here in a little bit, I will get started on a penny search, and we'll go through these two boxes right here. Here's what I got out of a coin machine today. There's a bent quarter. I'll get my pliers and straighten that back out. And here's a dime and a nickel and a quarter all stuck together. I'll get them apart. There's a bent dime. I'll straighten that out, and a couple of rough pennies. That one's copper. Looks like 78 cents. I'll add that to my annual findings. Two Sheds, Gabby. What are those nickels doing there, Two Sheds? Well, change in plan. I just got some information earlier that kind of surprised me. You probably saw it in the title, but we're going to talk more about that. So I'm going to go through these nickels first, and then I'll get to the pennies in the next day or two. But I want to talk a little bit more about what I just saw about the 2024s. We'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll talk about other stuff as we go. I'm going to start with these customer rolled and see if there's anything in there. I saw this one that they had something. It looks like maybe some type of years in red ink under that. Then they marked it out. So I don't know if that means anything. I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to these customer rolled. It could be great. It could be Dudsville. But I'll get into a few rolls and see what I have. And then, if needs be, we'll get over into this box right over here. Let's get going. Well, in the first roll here, I come to an older one, a 1948. And an S would even be a semi-key date. Oh, there's a mint mark. It's a D. I think they did in the D, was in the neighborhood of 40 million. Still pretty cool. I'm trying to remember how many they made of the 2009. I'm going to have to look that up. What else can we get? Yeah, if you saw the headline of this video, they're lower mintage than we thought. The D's, I think they said, was somewhere in the neighborhood of 30. There's a 1959 D. The D is the higher mintage in that year. But I think the 2024 D was like, I think 32 million. And we had been told finally that the P, the Philadelphia, was like up there close to 80 million. And somebody just told me that they have revised that. So I went and looked, and it said, yeah, there's only been less than 37 million made, which would put their value, if there's a value, similar, not much more, or not much less than the 24Ds, which are still selling quite well. I guess it may take a few days or so for that to get caught on eBay, but I'll have to be watching eBay and see what happens. I'm in the 13th row in this customer row box, and here is a 1949, and S would be a semi-key date. From the last 12 rows, I've picked up 3 from the 50s, all of them being mintages between 35 and 65 million. Not real high mintages, but not like the super low stuff either. And S would be pretty cool right here. It's the Philadelphia. Okay. No 2024s or 2009s or anything like that. I'm in the end of the 20th row, and here is a 1949, and it's also a Philadelphia. I'm just not finding very much of the, I guess, what I'd call the good stuff, No 2024s or anything. I wonder if this was a collector and he just didn't hoard the old stuff like I do. Well, folks, I've gone through half a box and I'm just not hardly finding anything. I think I'm going to step over to this other box and go through half of it and hopefully revive my spirits just a little bit. I'm in the third row in this bank sealed box, and here is a 1941. The D and the S is the lower ones. I think it's like 45 and 55 million. Oh, well, it's one of them. I think that's the S. Those S's don't come out very plain someday. Yeah, that looks like it. I think that's an S. Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, that's the lowest mintage of them for sure. Well, there's something. Now, hopefully, I'll find a 2024. I've still never found a 2025 coin. Maybe in a year or two I will. Well, I hope I get a 2024 in this box. Oh, there's something. 2009D. Very cool. I believe in humanity again. Nice. Now we'll go from there and find some more good stuff. Anyway, the 2024P. I have some listed on eBay, and I had lowered the price a time or two even, and I finally sold one row today, and then I found out about this lower mintage. So I went back and I just raised the price a few dollars, and I'm just going to watch things for a few days because I imagine it will take a while for this news to hit. But I would think that if people found out that the mintage is considerably lower, almost half or maybe less than half of what they initially were saying, then people might jump on eBay and start buying up these coins from the people who are thinking that there's still, 80 million made. What do you think is going on here? I guess somebody just stamped that in there. That's pretty wild. That's funny. Golly, folks. This is the 13th roll now in the bank box. I'm just not finding anything. But here's a 1948. The S is like 11 million. Philadelphia, I believe that's like 70 or 80 million. I did find a 55D. The P is what you want in that one. This one has like 75 million. Just not much happening for two sheds tonight. Just got sent this picture where a friend picked up one of these. I'm in the 16th row, guys. I hope it picks up a little bit. It sure has been slow. But here's the 1952. 52 is a pretty low mintage year. The Philadelphia being like 60 or 70. The Denver like 30. And then the San Francisco only like 20 million. Oh, is that the S there? Oh, it is. Cool. Well, there's a good one. 20 million. That's a pretty low mintage nickel right there. Not not a big dollar coin or nothing, but that's okay. I tell you, if I don't get a 2024 in this box, I think it'll be the first box in quite a long time. As far as bank boxes, I may have gone through a couple of customer rolls that didn't have them. You know, I think I've gotten them so frequently, I was just almost getting to where I was counting on getting them, but all it takes is one box of not getting them to get that kind of thinking out of your head. Oh. What do y'all think? Do you think prices will start going back up a little bit now? Here's the, also, I've got the Wikipedia and they show the same thing. This is nice. I just came to this is the 13th row. Here's a 1939. Let's hope for a D or an S would be sweet. Oh, another Philly. Why can't I get one? Oh, well. So here's the Appalachian word of the day. Botany. Honey, I went to get a glass of milk, but you hadn't bought any. Here's the next Appalachian word of the day. Budweiser. She's a pretty cute girl, but why does her voice sound like that? Oh, I found a Appalachian girl on YouTube today. She's kind of funny. She went to the Hillbilly Festival in her town so she could get an egg carton full of donuts. Oh, goodness. Oh, those are stuck together. As she was walking down the street, there was a wooden car displayed on the street. She said, I never thought of myself as redneck. She said, but I was conceived on a waterbed in a single wide trailer up in the holler. She goes, I guess that's kind of redneck. Well, folks, I've now gone through half of the bank box. I tell you, this is what I got from the first half of the customer road, and this is the bank box. A couple of 50s, couple of 40s, and I do have a 39. I have the 2009. That's the redeeming coin so far. I think I'm going to get up, pace around for a little while. I need a break. Hey guys, I decided to come back before I went to bed and do like just another roll or two of each one. And I came to this very next customer roll, and at least they did this for me. They got me a dime. So we've got that going for us. I think, tonight looks like it might be one of those humbling hunt nights. That's okay. They happen. I just got to get out of town. I need to mix things up and just get out there and go to some banks and talk to some people, some fresh new faces, and see if I can get some boxes. I am going to try to do that maybe Thursday. I won't go far. I'll just go to several small towns around me and see if I can just get something different happening. Sometimes you just need to do that. Tomorrow, I'll finish up this video hopefully, and I've got my Bible study I got to work on some more. I think I'm good condition. I worked on it some today, but I like to be very confident when I walk in there. But yeah, maybe Thursday. My usual Thursday banking, I've decided to do Friday this week, and maybe Thursday I'll just drop my wife. She'll probably want to do some of her painting and stuff, so I'll probably drop her off and just head out of town for a few hours. Well, folks, I just went through 5 Customer Road and 5 Bank Road. The only thing I got out of it was that dime. I'm going to go take me a shot of apple cider vinegar and go to bed. And we'll try to pick back up in the morning. Maybe the end of the boxes will do a little better. We'll see. Good night, folks. Well, good morning, folks. I am back at the table here, and this is the 4th row of the Customer Road I've gone through this morning. And I got another dime, so maybe that's about the best I can hope for with these rolls. But that's okay. That's okay. It's just what happens sometimes, and we'll just make the best of it. I have been planning out my trip for in the morning to a couple little towns I'm going to go to and stop at some banks in the little towns and on the way out of town to get to those little banks. I've already got 9 banks and credit unions mapped out that I'm going to go to while I'm out, that I'm actually a member of. And then when I'm in these little towns, I'm also going to stop at the banks I'm not a member of and just see what I can get. Some of them are nice and they'll let you get stuff, and some of them won't. And I'm hoping to come home with no less than a few boxes equivalent of pennies and nickels, and maybe even a couple of silver coins, maybe a bunch of rolls of $50 to go through, maybe even a Ike dollar or something like that. Hopefully I'll have a good time while I'm out. I don't know how successful I'll be, but I'll definitely have a good time. In the 5th row of these Customer Road, I think that means I've got 15 rows left, I find a 1982 Canadian. So even in the Customer Road, I get myself a Canadian coin. I was hoping maybe just by luck I might come across another 2009, but no such luck yet. Lots of these 2008s. This is the 2nd roll this morning of the bank row, and here is a 1952. The D and the S are the lower mintage. Oh, what do we got? It's the D. About 30 million of those made, so that's relatively low mintage there. I have not gotten on this morning yet to see if I'm seeing any price differences on the 2024 P on eBay. I'll have to do that here in just a moment. See, I was caught off guard, and I'm guessing that much of the eBay goers are probably not aware either yet, many of them. And so it may take a week, I don't know, or more. I have no idea, but I definitely think that we'll see the prices inching up a little bit. Looky here. This is the third bankroll this morning, and they're giving me dimes too. Well, here's my third dime from these two boxes. I did just look up on eBay, and there's still several people selling the rolls for lower money, I guess we'll call it. I noticed there's one at the top of the list that I'm guessing was the most recently listed, and it's considerably higher. But as long as those others are available, that one is not going to sell. Mine is just a couple of dollars higher now than those others, and I'm just going to give it a week or so and see if those get sold out, and then they'll get to the ones. Mine is still considerably lower than the other one that was listed, but a couple dollars higher than what other people are selling for. Here is a 1948 in the next roll. An S would be nice, only 11 million of those guys. Oh, it's the D. I think there's like 40 million of them. Well, when I saw that, I thought maybe I had some. That's cool. Getting a few of the older ones, but not nearly as much as I usually do. There's a 1959. Philadelphia would be nice. That's the Denver. I see a 1955. Again, the Philadelphia would be really nice. And it's the Denver. Yeah, this may be my first bank box in a pretty good while that does not give me a 2024. We got 16 rolls to go. Oh my goodness, folks. I've got 12 rolls to go in the customer roll, and look at that. It doesn't have the silver color at all. And the Monticello is pretty worn, but there is a P. Oh my goodness. 1943. Look at that. It doesn't even have the silvering color even a little. But I believe we got us a silver anyway. Wow. That's pretty wild. I'm not sure what to think of that. I know the Henleys, whatever they're called, he did not put the P or the letters up there on top of the Monticello, so I'm pretty confident it's not that. That is pretty interesting there. I don't know what to make of it. I'm gonna look into this a little bit and see if there's. It may just for some reason doesn't have that color, but I don't know. I'd like to know why. Interesting, very interesting. Well, that made the whole trip pretty fun right there. Oh, I was not expecting that. Well, folks, there were some 1943 nickels that were mistakenly minted on the regular copper nickel clad, coins. Is it possible that I could have one of those? It says they're highly sought after. I'm not exactly who to check. I may have to look into this because it every other silver nickel I've seen has some variation of coloring to it, and this one looks exactly like any other nickel that I find. Wow, that's amazing. Maybe that could be amazing. Well, in the next row, I come to a 1959. The D has well over 100 million, but the P only has like 28 million. I always find the D's, but someday, hey, that someday is today. Only 28 million of this one, guys. That's a low mintage nickel. That's cool. Well, this box is just getting better all the time. Wow. That 43, I'm going to have to take it to somebody and have them take a look at it and see what, there's 1940. Well, what happened here? I mean, I wasn't finding anything for roll after roll after roll. 1940 Philadelphia. That is the higher mintage one. But still, it just takes one roll, right? Man, I just can't wait to find out if that is, that's a 1948. The S here. Nope. Wow, they're stacking up back there. All right, guys, I'm now back into 5 more rolls of the bankrolled. And at the end of this 5, I'll have 10 rolls of each left. Here's the 1952. You know, the 52s were all pretty low mintage. I think the Philadelphia was the highest with like 60. San Francisco was the lowest with like 20. I believe that is an S. It is an S. Ooh, how about that? It's so weird. I mean, last night, they just weren't going very well at all. I did get a 2009. No complaints there. But this morning, man, I'm getting some stuff. And I just ordered one of these. It's a pinger so that I can hopefully get a better idea if this thing is silver or not. And hopefully it'll be in a few days. And I will get back with you all. Here's a 1948. I don't know. Oh, there's another possible old one. This one is the Philadelphia. That is the higher mintage of the 48. This is a D, 1951 D. Oh my. There's only 20 million of that one too. Wow. I am all of a sudden getting some low mintage coins. That's pretty wild. Maybe a 2024 will just pop up somewhere. I can't wait till that dinger comes in. I just watched a little video on it and then ran over to eBay and purchased one. Here is a 1941. I have sure found a lot of these guys lately. The D and the S are the lower mintages. And this one's the D. Very nice. Very cool. I think it's still around 40 or 50 million, something like that. Well, look. I tell you, what a difference overnight makes. It's so weird. This half, the coins I'm getting into now are amazing, considering that the half of the box I went through last night wasn't producing hardly anything. A little bit here and there. But we have a 2024P. Wow, that's pretty wild. Now maybe 3 or 4 will show up. When a whole half of a box just, produces what it produces, you kind of expect it to continue going that way, even though there's no reason to, I guess. Just the thoughts you get in your head, I suppose. It's all random. The machines rolling the coins don't know what's going on. I'm going out of town tomorrow anyway. Well, it'd be fun to get a couple of silver halves out of somebody's drawer. A couple of loose $50. 1948, what was the mint mark? Philadelphia. Folks, I just opened another roll of customer roll, and I was flipping a few coins over, looking to see what they were, and I came to this one just like this. Clearly, it's a Philadelphia, and I turn it over, and it's another 59 Philadelphia. Is that 59? Yep. That's two of them I've gotten today, only 28 million. I mean, I go through dozens of 59s, and they're all Denver. And today I found two Philadelphias with only 28 million minted. That's pretty neat. Getting some low mintage stuff here, even. $1952, that one was a Philadelphia. So 52 is a low mintage year. There's like 60 million of that one made. Oh boy. My wife came in right before she went to bed last night, and how's it going? I said, it's going fine. I said, I got 2 boxes that just ain't hardly producing nothing. I said, but that's all right. She's like, oh, don't complain about it. And I said, well, I'm not really complaining. I'm just stating what's going on. I said, the next boxes will be better, I guess. But turns out these boxes ain't so bad themselves. So can I state a fact without it being complaining? I said, don't I get kind of excited when I go through a really good box? She goes, yeah. I said, all right, imagine the opposite. Here's a 1999 in really good condition. It's not that old, but I turn it over and it's got the full steps. So I think just for posterity's sake, is that the way you pronounce it? I'm going to put it in a 2x2 flip anyway. And just, let my kids take it over and see. Maybe someday it'll mean something. 6 rolls left in the customer roll, and I just get my 3rd dime in the customer roll, 4th dime out of these 2 boxes. Oh, well, that's okay. Just unbelievable. Guys, I'm not kidding. I had no idea. I had no idea that was there. That is so funny. Wow. That is 5 dimes now I've gotten out of these 2 boxes. What'll we do with that extra quarter? 2 bits. 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, $1. The very next roll, and here is another one, guys. Wow, that's funny. Now, if they just want to give me a silver one, that'd be all right for me. Man. Funny stuff. So weird how the difference between last night's halves and today's halves. The haves and the have-nots. I'm back to the bankroll, and look at the color of that guy. That is some toning there, ain't it? Let's see if we can see what that is. It's just wild toning that it just happened to pick up. 2000. Golly. Wow. That's got some rainbow going there. I don't know if it means anything, but it's pretty neat. 6 rolls to go now with the bankroll, and here is my second 2024p, and I see a 1940 just 2 coins behind it. How about them apples? Is it always apples? Couldn't we say, how about them oranges? That one is the Philadelphia. Oh, I did also find a 1953 Philadelphia, and that one is, they're pretty low mintage too. Not a whole bunch of them made. Five rolls left in the bankroll, and here's 2024p number 3. Unreal. That's pretty cool, though. My wife and I were talking about getting the bank boxes, the customer roll boxes. And even though I do feel like I get relatively frequently the return boxes that have nothing in them, you can't turn them down, because what if it is that one time that you get a dump? I'm constantly taking coins back to the banks anyway. So if you got another box that's just somebody else's sorted, you just take them back. Now I'm back to the last of the customer rolls. Here is a 1941. There are 4 rolls left after this roll. I guess that one has just been tinged. It looks funny. Philadelphia, that's the high mintage one. Still a pretty old coin. Just saying. I haven't been singing in these boxes. Wonder why I haven't been singing. Carpenters, sing a song. 2 rolls to go in the customer roll. Here's my 6th dime in the customer rolls. 7th dime total. Is that pretty crazy? All the cryptocurrencies we can buy. Oh, get some of them that are 0.0000002 cents, and then wait for them to move up to 0.00003 cents. Oh my goodness. Oh my, another one. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I am guessing that this was a business. The return, that's the only thing that makes sense. 1 roll to go in the customer roll, and here's a 1941. When I open up the customer roll, I just tear off the end, and then I'll lean the roll up and just slide them out. So I don't really look at them. When I open the the bank roll, I pop off each end and then roll it out. And I usually see what's in, if there's something funny going on. But I don't see that when I do the customer roll. 1941, another Philadelphia. Oh, is that a penny? Yep, got a penny. Well, we just lost our 4-cent gain. That's okay. I don't mind. I'm now in the last 5 bankroll, and I come to a 1946. Even this one's got a funny tone to it, almost a pinkish tone. It is, a D. Cool. I believe D is lower mint than P. Lower mintage. Well, I gotta say, it's turned out to be a pretty fascinating couple of boxes. I'm not gonna call that one a silver yet. I mean, it may be an error. Definitely made during the wartime, but I'm just not gonna call it silver till I check into it some more. One roll to go after this, and I will be done with these two boxes. But here is 2024P number 4. How about that? I looked up out my window here and I see a car pulling in, and it turns out it's our termite people. We had last year, we put when we got moved in, we had it checked and there was a little bit of termite thing going on, so we hired the service and they put little termite stations all around the house. That I guess it's some type of stuff they're supposed to eat from these stations and then go back to their colonies and wipe them all out. Such cruel torture. But they're here today just checking the stations. I'm in the last room now, guys, and I think this is a 67 proof. Oh, I tell you what, I'm pretty sure that there's a little bit of scuffs and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that is behind those little scuffs is a mirror-like shine. I am pretty positive that is a proof. A Philadelphia proof. I saw one on eBay, so I think they exist. That's pretty neat. There's a little bit of the stairs, but there's a little bit too much wear. It does not have the full stairs, unfortunately. Well, folks, I've completed both boxes. The back line is the customer roll, and the front line, of course, is the bank roll. $1, $50s, $40s, $30s, 4 2024s and a 2009, and the dime. That is the proof. Over here, I've got that 1999 that's real nice condition. This is the biggie right here, the 1943, that could possibly be not silver, and that would be amazing. I read that they're worth up to $10,000, but obviously that's going to be in like MS66 or something. I'm guessing even in this condition, it could be worth hundreds of dollars. If that's what it is, we got to wait and we'll test it with the ping tester. If it still sounds like it's just all clad, then I will take it and have somebody professionally check it out. The Canadian, several dimes, and the 40s and 50s. I've got several low mintage ones in here that I'm going to go through and pull them out, and I'll put those in 2x2 flips. But anyway, it turned out to be pretty fun. I'm telling you, last night I was like, oh man, this isn't great, but it turned out to be pretty doggone fun. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope to hear from you, to hear your thoughts, and we will see. I'm hoping to be out of town tomorrow, and so I won't pick up my $50 and stuff at my regular place till Friday. I hope they don't mind me putting them off a day. We'll see you guys.